What if I told you that your soulmate is only one cold approach away? The girl at the coffee shop, the girl at the grocery store, the girl you walked past randomly on the street. What if I told you that all of these women were presenting opportunities for you to find your future life partner, and that all you had to do was walk up and approach her? The truth is, in 2023, this is actually more true than ever, because cold approach is the biggest superpower you could have as a man in your arsenal in the present day. Dating apps are more competitive than ever. Men as a whole are doing less and less approaches. Dating apps, COVID lockdowns, people being chronically online 24/7 has forced them into a technological comfort zone that makes approaching a woman seem like an impossible task. So if you as a man have the most basic understanding of how to approach a woman and start a conversation, you, my friend, are at the top 1% of men in the dating pool. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why cold approach is the new superpower in 2023, arguably better than dating apps, Instagram, or any other way of meeting women, and how you can leverage and harness this superpower in your own life to date the highest quality of women. 95% of men think that it's creepy to approach women in 2023. They cling to dating apps out of fear in an attempt to shield themselves from the discomfort of approaching women in person. But in reality, cold approach is the most effective way to meet women who you'd like to make your girlfriend or wife. Why is that? It all comes down to one word: spontaneity. When you cold approach a stranger and spark a romantic connection, you're creating a story in the girl's mind that can't be replicated by anyone else. The feeling she gets as the surprise, nervousness, and curiosity sets in doesn't even come close to matching guy number 239 on a dating app. Why do you think girls love reading corny romance novels? It's because every girl secretly hopes she's gonna meet the man of her dreams through a spontaneous chance encounter. She's online at the coffee shop, waiting to place her order, when suddenly you walk in and say all the right things to grab her attention. She thinks to herself, oh my god, this never happens. This is like something out of a movie. And because you're able to create this movie scene experience for her, she'll value you 1,000 times more than any guy on an app she can easily replace with a few swipes. The most attractive women have tons of options. There's no getting around this. However, when she's evaluating which option she wants to pursue and give her attention to, who do you think she's going to choose? The guy she met spontaneously online at Starbucks, or the guy she met by simply swiping away on an app? The downside to meeting a girl on an app is that she's going to fundamentally view that experience as an experience that she could easily replace. She's just a few swipes away from meeting another guy in the same exact way that she met you. However, how often is she going to go to Starbucks, have a guy who actually has his life together, who's actually successful, who's actually high value, who's going to go up and say all the right things to her, who's going to approach her in a way that's respectful, in a way that intrigues her, in a way that makes her want to learn more about you? That doesn't happen every day, and because of that, she's going to value that interaction and that man who approached her more so than all of the hundreds of guys in her phone. No girl wants to brag to her friends about meeting her husband on Tinder. One of the most common dating app bios you'll see is, let's lie about how we met. So why are you still swiping away from the comfort of your phone when you're just one cold approach away from meeting your potential soulmate? Every single day, my private clients are approaching women and creating movie scene experiences for themselves. And the best part is that they're able to do it while going about their daily life, never having to spend 3 to 4 hours approaching girls aimlessly in a fucking mall or at a nightclub. The most common thing I hear from women when I approach them or when my clients approach them is that, oh my god, this is so flattering, this never happens to me. And that's because most guys only get the balls to approach a girl when they're at a drunk, sweaty nightclub and they have alcohol-fueled confidence. No guy has the balls and the gall to actually go up to a girl and do it respectfully like a gentleman during the daytime, which is actually the best time to do it because you're more likely to meet higher quality women. The women who are going to clubs 24/7 and that you're going to meet there aren't always going to be women that you'd want to make a wife. In the same way, dating apps attract a certain pool of women. Now, obviously, there's pros and cons to dating apps, Instagram, or approaching women at nightclubs. However, you have to learn how to play the game in the new meta. In the same way in business or in the markets, there are certain trends, and these trends can either make you rich or they can make you poor. With the trend of dating apps and social media rising and rising, the best way to actually stand out is to do the complete opposite. One of my very close friends and one of the best marketers I know taught me this concept. You want to zig when everyone expects you to zag. Now, in the context of dating, what that means is, while every single guy is trying to flex on Instagram, on dating apps, the biggest way to stand out is not to play the same game as them. No, of course not. Being man enough to actually approach her and be able to charm her in conversation is the new superpower in the new meta of how dating happens in 2023. The average guy can't even make eye contact with a woman he likes. Even guys who make good money, who do well for themselves and are successful, still feel timid and afraid around women. They make eye contact with a girl and their first reaction is to immediately look away. Now think about how many of you struggle to make basic eye contact with the girls you like. Now think about how difficult it would be for you to approach her and start a conversation without stumbling over your words like most guys do. The most basic and common task expected of men in the past is now something that 99% of men have never done. Truly take a second to think about the times that we're living in. Men don't approach at all. When I talk to guys who are interviewing to join my private consultant and I ask them, when was the last time you approached a girl during the daytime? The most common answer is never. Even at nightclubs, the average guy is not approaching a girl every single time he goes out. Men lack the courage, the confidence, and the social acuity to know what to say and what to do in these interactions. And because of this, women are more desperate than ever for a man who actually knows what he's doing and can actually go for it. And if you really want to get deep on this, the fact that you exist and are watching this video right now is proof that your caveman ancestors were able to do what you never have, which is simply approach the girl. So ask yourself, why is it acceptable for you to be the first male in your bloodline to not fucking approach a girl? The funny thing is that now that women never get approached anymore and guys never go out of their way to approach women and their social skills are lower than ever, even if they are rich, even if they are successful, the benefit to all of this is that the bar for success is lower than ever. Meaning you don't even have to have good game. You don't have to say some smooth, witty James Bond pickup line in order to get the girl. All you need to do most of the time is go up, approach her, talk to her, make a little bit of small talk, and just be normal. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a positive interaction that's going to end in her giving you her number. There's virtually no competition when it comes to cold approaching women. So women don't have a standard or a large pool of other men to compare your approach to, which makes your life and your job a lot easier. In business, there's a concept known as a blue ocean, which is when you pursue an opportunity in the market that no one else is pursuing. The reason it's called a blue ocean is because there's no competition there. If you jump into the blue ocean, you're the only one operating there. So you are the only person who can provide what the market is looking for. The best entrepreneurs, businessmen, and operators are operating in markets where there's little competition, where they are the only source. The reason they're able to make so much money is because they're playing an entirely different game than you are. In the same way, some of my most successful clients are guys who are focusing heavily on cold approach, because while everyone else is focused on playing the dating app game and the Instagram game, which are viable games with viable strategies that have a time and a place, the men who are focused on cold approach are able to attack a blue ocean. And I'd even go so far as to say that eventually I can see cold approach making a rise again and becoming more popular as guys get fed up with dating apps. There's many parallels between business and dating because it's essentially just sales. And if you want to succeed at both, the way you make the most money, the way you make the most sales is by playing entirely different games than the masses are playing. In business, the simplest business model and the simplest sales process tends to win over the more complicated one because there are more points of failure. Let's say dating apps, for example. Not only do you need to be competent at taking solid photos, editing good photos, choosing the order of the photos, knowing which photos are going to get the most attention, but you also have to write a well-crafted bio. You need to find the best opening line that's going to get the girl's attention and get her to respond, but also that's going to make her likely go on a date. You need to be very good at your text game. You need to be good at following up. You need to be good at managing multiple different leads and multiple different women. You need to be good at potentially doing phone calls or FaceTimes because girls are going to want to know that you're not a catfish. That's at least 10 different skill sets that you have to be competent in order to have success on dating apps. If you're not good at any one or two of these things, then the whole thing can fall flat. This is why one of the most common things guys come to me for is help with dating apps, because it's too hard to become an expert at all of these things. Now, if you take cold approach, on the other hand, the only 2 skills you really need is 1, having the balls and courage to actually get out of your own head and approach the girl. And number 2, being able to make good enough small talk that the girl will give you her phone number. Now, when she gives you her phone number, you don't need to come up with an epic opening line like you do on Tinder, because she already met you. She already knows what you're like. So she's more likely to respond to something very, very basic. And not to mention, in your conversation, you can already see the idea of hanging out in the future. So when you text her, you just follow up on that idea and boom, the conversation started in the direction of a date. Do you see how it's much easier to get good at 2 things rather than 10 things? And the benefit of getting good at these 2 things required for cold cold approach is, like I said, the bar is lower than ever because women are more starved for a true masculine man that can come in and sweep them off their feet and show some basic social skills and courage. You've all heard the cringe alpha male trope that in a world full of sheep, the actions of a lion are crazy by comparison. And this is very true when it comes to cold approach, as much as I hate these alpha male tropes. Because not only is there a massive dating benefit to cold approach, but what it does to your psyche as a man is the real superpower. It shows you that you can go out and bend reality to your will in real time. You can insert your will onto the universe and get what you want. This sounds super hyperbolic and dramatic, but it isn't. I really promise you that it's not. Being able to see a woman you like and know exactly what to say and what to do to approach her, respectfully build attraction, and get her to agree to a date with you, that is you bending your reality to your will in real time. It's you going from, I see the girl, I want to get to know her, to, I've got the girl I've built a special connection with. We're now seeing each other, all because you saw something and wept for it. You willed it to existence. This is truly reality breaking for lots of guys. The average guy stuck in scarcity and mediocrity. He can't get over the nerves of approaching the girl, his fear of rejection, let alone saying something to her and making the conversation go smoothly. But once you confront the beliefs and limiters that are holding you back and going on the inside of you as a man and move past them to get success, your mind is open to so many possibilities and the world truly becomes your oyster. Learning this skill of cold approach as a teenager is what got me into business and entrepreneurship in the first place, because it showed me how to go for opportunities that were in front of me. It taught me that all of the things that I thought were holding me back are really just excuses inside of me. All of these things translate to business, skill acquisition, and generally just getting what you want out of life. This level of abundance and power you feel from seeing that this is possible is truly mind-bending for guys when they first learn this. Now, if you're not approaching women right now, it's because there's some mind virus or limiting belief that is holding you back. Our brain and belief system is conditioned and programmed at all hours of the day from the day we are born. The next time you see a beautiful woman, you get the urge to approach her, but you don't because of the excuses and beliefs that pop into your head. Ask yourself, why are they coming up? Are these beliefs even true? Are these beliefs and mind viruses that are coming up to the surface hindering or limiting my growth? Do these beliefs serve me? Where do they come from? Who installed them into my head? With everything in life, but especially dating, men have a host of limiting beliefs and mind viruses that stop them from getting the life they really deserve. Now, if you want to learn how to approach women confidently and create these movie scene experiences that lead to dates and relationships, apply for my private consulting below. We'll take you from no approach experience to getting multiple dates per week with girlfriend quality women in just a few weeks' time. And no, you don't need to take my word for it. You can see the endless testimonials on screen and by clicking the link below. And if you're still struggling with how to actually execute approaches, watch this video here.